AITA for refusing to babysit my niece after my sister insulted me. I've always been the reliable sibling, but this time, I think I've had enough. My sister says I'm being petty, but honestly, I feel like I'm just setting boundaries. I, 28 million, have always been close to my sister, Emily, 32 feet. Growing up, she was the bossy older sister who thought she knew better, and I was the nice little brother who went along with it. Over the years, that dynamic never really changed. Emily got married young and had my niece Sophie, who's 4 now, and let me tell you, this kid is a ray of sunshine. I adore her to bits. Here's where the problem comes in. I've been Emily's go-to babysitter since Sophie was born. At first I didn't mind, I was single, had weekends off, and genuinely enjoyed spending time with my niece. It was never official though. I didn't ask for payment or anything. Emily would just say, "Can you watch Sophie for a few hours?" And I'd always say yes. But lately, things have shifted. Emily's requests have turned into demands, and they're not small ones either. Like, "Can you watch Sophie all day on Saturday?" "I'm going to a spa with friends," or "I need you to pick Sophie up from daycare today. I forgot I had dinner plans." It's not even about being asked. What really bugs me is how she treats my time like it's less valuable than hers. I've got a job, commitments, and a social life too. I'm not just sitting around waiting for her to call. A few weeks ago, I tried bringing it up. I told Emily, "Hey, I'm happy to help with Sophie, but I'd appreciate a little more notice or for this to be less frequent. It's getting a bit much." Her response? She laughed. Like, an actual laugh. Then she said, "Oh, come on. What do you even do all day? It's not like you have kids or a real job." That stung. I work as a freelance graphic designer, and while I don't have a typical 9 to 5, I work hard to pay my bills and make a decent living. For her to brush it off like it's not real hit a nerve. After that comment, I decided to cool off before responding. I didn't want to blow up at her and cause unnecessary drama, so I just said, "Emily, that's not fair. My job might not look like yours, but I work hard." She shrugged it off and said, "Fine, whatever. You're still watching Sophie on Saturday, right?" At that point, I should have said no. But the thing is, Sophie really does mean the world to me, and I didn't want her to suffer because her mom and I were having a disagreement. So, like an idiot, I said, "Yeah, I'll watch her." Saturday came, and everything went fine. Sophie and I had a great day, but I was still stewing over Emily's comment. It's not the first time she's made a passive-aggressive jab about my career or how I live my life. I've heard things like, "Must be nice to work in your pajamas," or "Some of us don't have the luxury of sitting at home all day." The next week, she called again. This time, she wanted me to watch Sophie overnight because she and her husband had a wedding to go to. That's when I put my foot down. I told her, "No, I can't this time." She immediately got annoyed and asked why. I tried to be honest but firm. I said, "Emily, I love Sophie, but I'm not your full-time babysitter. I have my own life, and I'm not going to drop everything every time you have plans." And that's when she snapped. She said something along the lines of, "You're so selfish. It's not like you have kids, so what's the big deal? I'd do it for you in a heartbeat." At that point, I lost it. I said, "Emily, you insult me, treat me like I'm your backup plan, and now you're guilt-tripping me for having boundaries? I'm done. Find someone else." Then I hung up. A few hours later, I got a text from her. "Wow, so you're really refusing to watch your niece over one little comment? Grow up." I didn't respond, but I felt like garbage. She made me feel like I was being petty and selfish, but at the same time, I felt justified. I'd always helped out when I could, and I never asked for anything in return. All I wanted was a little respect. The next morning, I woke up to a group text from my mom. "Can you two sort this out? Emily says you're refusing to help her with Sophie, and now she's scrambling for childcare. Family helps family." Great. Now she'd gotten mom involved. I was already frustrated, but this turned it up a notch. Emily had a habit of playing the poor me card whenever she didn't get her way, and it worked like a charm with our parents. I replied privately to my mom and said, "This isn't about Sophie. It's about Emily treating me like garbage every time I try to set boundaries." Mom said she'd talk to her, but I wasn't holding my breath. A day later, Emily showed up unannounced at my apartment. I opened the door, and she launched right into it. "Are you seriously going to let your stupid ego get in the way of helping your own niece? You're punishing Sophie over nothing." I tried to stay calm. I said, "Emily, this isn't about Sophie. I love her. It's about you constantly disrespecting me and treating me like a free babysitter." She scoffed and said, "Disrespecting you? You're so dramatic. You sit around all day, and I'm giving you something useful to do." That was the moment I hit my breaking point. I told her, "You know what? I'm done. I've watched Sophie for free for years because I love her, but I'm not going to keep doing it if you refuse to treat me like an equal. I have a job, I have a life. I don't need to justify that to you. If you can't respect me, find someone else." She stared at me for a second, completely caught off guard. Then she said, "Fine. Don't expect to see Sophie anytime soon." And just like that, she stormed off. It's been a week since that blow-up. Emily hasn't spoken to me, and I haven't reached out either. My mom keeps telling me to just apologize and move on. But I don't think I should have to apologize for asking for basic respect. On one hand, I feel guilty. I miss Sophie, and I hate that she's caught in the middle of this. She didn't do anything wrong. On the other hand, I feel like this needed to happen. I've spent years letting Emily treat me like I'm less important, and now I'm finally standing up for myself. Here's where I'm torn. Am I being petty for refusing to babysit over a few hurtful comments? Or was I right to set boundaries and stick to them, even if it caused drama? I really don't know anymore. I'm starting to second-guess myself, which is why I'm here asking AITA for refusing to babysit my niece after my sister insulted me. What do you think? Am I being petty, or was it time to set boundaries? Let me know in the comments. Would you have handled this differently? And if you've ever been in a situation like this, I'd love to hear how you dealt with it. Make sure to like the video and subscribe so you never miss more shocking and real stories like this one.